What's going on, everybody? Thanks for checking in. We have one of our partners here, N Agency Launch. He came in, he hired us. We started implementing our fulfillment teams into some of his creators, and he's actually going crazy right now. So we're gonna hop on. He's gonna go over what his experience has been like with Agency Launch, how things have changed, how much more he's making, and just what the process was like overall, just from starting from scratch to where he's at now. So I don't want to waste your time. Drop a like on this video, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna be actually doing giveaways, so if you like the video and drop a comment, I'm gonna be choosing one of you guys to send $100 to. So if you want a free $100, like the video, drop a comment, and then on my next video, I'm gonna choose the winner and actually send the money on video so you guys know what's good. Without further ado, let's hop into this interview. Let's get to know Kwan and what his process was like working with Agency Launch and how it's going. I really just want to make sure that everybody understands like where you started, and like what your experience was like before you got into this, how long you've been doing it, what it was like from doing it by yourself to now working with me, and just, a little bit of results, like, how we've been able to perform, how the teams are doing, and how it's had an impact on your life and how it's actually, made a difference, right?
So I'm Kwan. I do represent like Luna Agency and everything. Where I started off, I actually ran a different agency under the name of like G&D, and we were pretty much only using dating apps. Eventually that got really expensive and that did crash out. And that was during Q4 of 2024. I kind of gave up on OFM, not going to lie. But what the way I am is I don't like to give up. So I'm over here like I'm just in Tyler's DMs here, right? I'm over here just texting like, hey, what's up? I see you can do some stuff. Hey, like help me out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like I'm not like I had a little bit of money. I'm like, dude, I know you've got something for me, basically. And he's like, eventually, I see Tyler. He starts to promote a partnership called Agency Launch and everything like that, where it's more like white labeled fulfillment and some support. I thought about it and I was like, at the time, of my agency crashing again, I had probably about 4 models that I didn't want to like just give up on. Business was crumbling and I was like, well, let me kind of look into a support system. So I finally got into contact with Tyler here and he gave me like a little bit of a rundown. So I joined the Discord. I spoke to, I think his assistant's name is Nick. I spoke to Nick. We talked a little bit. I explained them the situation and basically it was like a kind of a dire need. Like I had models that basically needed a home and some support and I was like kind of drowning. I had some debt and eventually I took a leap of faith. And like I said, I won't even say like a leap of faith, more so like, again, he's got a personal brand, so I'm like, I've already looked into it. I'm like, this isn't like fake. So I checked it out and I ended up joining the Agency Launch team. Overall, it's been a great experience. In the very beginning, it was a little slow. I ended up getting some new clients in the meantime. All of my models that I did have, man, I had them for months kind of on the hook. So I understand like why they left. And I completely understand why they left. But
now, how long have you, if you could let everybody know, like how long you've been with us for, like how long ago you joined and hired us to come in and give you that support system?
As for when I actually joined up, it was probably the end of February here. So the end of February, around
give or take a month or so.
Yeah, no, not even that. More like 20 days. I haven't been here. Yeah, about 20 days. I haven't been here that long. I haven't even been here for a full 30 days. And
that's insane.
Yeah, and
that's insane.
It is, right? It is. So what ended up happening is like in the process of me joining, I kind of took my time. I read through everything, a lot of the information, because I have been in the space. I'm not like a complete like amateur.
Beginner, right?
Yeah, I've been in the space for a little while. I knew a lot of that information already. It was more so the support that I was looking for. OFM is super stressful, and even some of the I've reached out to some of the people in the Discord, and they are newer. And a lot of them are kind of going through it. And a lot of people believe this business is kind of sunshine and rainbows. Going into this business, knowing that it's not all sunshine and rainbows is probably what helped me.
Yeah.
But anyways, staying on task, I read through the Discord and I basically got some new clients. I got them with fulfillment, and that's really taken a lot of stress off my shoulders. It allows me to focus on things that are important, which would be like the actual marketing aspect of it, growing social media, and networking with other models, talking to them,
more clients,
more clients, seeing what stress points are. The most common objection now really is like, what can you do for me, and or just fear because of other agencies just basically mishandling. And that happens a lot in this space right now, unfortunately. But I'm very big on like like people ask me too, but people in real life know, kind of what I do, and they're like, how do you convince these models and how do you do that? And I'm like, well, for one, if I really need to convince somebody, at the end of the day, that's not somebody for me. If they
It's not
don't
an
already
ideal
kind of see the
client.
value,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't convince anybody. That's, I more so just give a value proposition. And if they're, willing to try, again, it's no money up front and there really is no harm that I can do. But that's the thing. If I have to convince you to like do all this, do all that, I really would rather let you kind of just try it on your own. And I'm speaking to like models that may watch this video, to be honest. I really think you should try it on your own and see where you go. And then when you do develop a stress point, you can reach out to Tyler. He may put you in contact with me. I may reach out to you. I'm pretty much always like hustling in the way of like, I'm on my phone, I'm reaching out. So you may even have a message from me now. But
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely, if you have a pain point, that's the whole point of really joining an agency, is to solve that pain point for you and kind of figure that out.
When it comes to the actual recent success that you've been seeing, can you give them just a little bit of a rundown? Maybe you don't have to give exact details, but like how you found the creator, like what platform it was through, like if you reached out on there, and then what the process was like, and then like how the creator did before you put our teams on, and then how it's doing after, and within like what time frames.
I've been reaching out to, semi-large influencers too. Those are kind of Hail Mary shots, yes. But I got a response from, I'm not going to say names, but I did get a response from one. And so far, it's been amazing. Because of the confidence that I had in the team and every system that I've kind of built in my background, plus Tyler's team here, what ended up happening was I onboarded a non-nude model. For one, that's huge in the space because a lot of people have fears of, initial nudity and things like that. We took her on and, we got on the phone call, and personally, I like to make a friend on any phone call. So we spoke a little bit and she gave it some time, gave me about a day. She did start the page and she did about, 500 to $1,000 by herself. And then kind of what ended up happening is she had like 70 or so messages and she was like, okay, wow, this is crazy. And so what ended up happening was we took over. She signed an agreement, and and I say agreement because a lot of agencies they'll give you a contract, and overall like a contract it's controlling. This is ultimately a partnership, and I do want to make that clear. It's a partnership, and she signed our agreement, and within 3 days, we're on day 4 right now, but I'll give you like day 3. We ended up generating an additional $9,000 or so. 4,000 was basically overnight. So let me actually open my software here so that I can kind of give you guys a little bit more accurate numbers. Just give me
and if you want, feel free to screen share. I can also pull it up on my side because he gave me access to the inflow just so I can keep track of your success. The biggest thing here is like people don't understand, and you mentioned this, is like it's not like you're just signing the creator and putting her under a contract. It's a partnership. It's an agreement. It's an agreement that's like, hey, look, I'm going to give you the support systems, and in return for making you more money with these support systems, you're just going to give me a small piece of that pie. And a lot of people have that like misconception where it's like, like I sign the model, I own the model, I own her socials, whatever. But a lot of people don't understand that when you take that route, it kind of builds a little bit of tension where it's like the creator doesn't really trust, right? And what we want to do here is we want them to trust us. So it's like having an agreement and presenting it as a partnership. There it is. Presenting it as a partnership is where the creator feels more comfortable, and she understands that you're not just here to take her money. Like you're here to actually provide value, and you're going to do the things that she needs, and in return, she's just going to pay you out, right? Now, when it comes to the success we've talked about the success, right, of how much she's made. Now, can you directly reflect and just express how her relationship with you now has grown, and like what kind of feedback you've gotten from her after she's probably gone from not seeing any money before to now seeing like almost 20K probably. Like she's halfway to 20K. This girl I will be very surprised if she does not close 20K this month. How's that been?
We're at 15. So we're at 15 grand right now on March 29th, 9:28 a.m. right now. Yeah, the relationship, as for what actually ended up happening, like I went from basically being just a stranger, reaching out through TikTok, because that is where I reached out. Like, it went from let me try it out, let me, I feel like she took a leap of faith a little bit too. And I'm really happy she didn't. I know she's happy because now you changed my life for a better direction.
Yeah.
And last night she's pretty much saying, I've never seen that amount of money before. Like I've never touched that amount of money before.
Yeah.
Just from like her general setting too. And I don't want to say too much, but I pretty sure that's a dorm. So I know she's like a university student.
Yeah.
And you know, whether or not she uses the money to basically pay the school's
Debts,
expensive these days.
loans.
Yeah, loans, paying loans, or even a car. Regardless, I know that's gonna help her out a ton. So
Yeah, absolutely. And now, when it comes to like the agreement that you guys have, right, in the partnership, what is your split? What's your take home on what she's making right now?
so she's 70% goes to her, and then
Mhm.
I'm on 30%.
Right. So you're on 30%. Okay. Now let's say she does 20K. 20K times 30%. I think that's oof. I'm so horrible at math. I'll do it off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
don't call me out. Hey, on the spot.
Hey,
I'm
on
the
the spot, it's
so, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So 20%, right? Or
Mhm.
20,000. 30%, 20,000 is going to come out to 6,000, right? And the team that we put on her page is only going to take from tips and messages. So you're going to be profiting. I would say, let's just say, dude, this is hard to gauge. Okay, let's just go based off of what she's generated right now in tips and messages. So she's done 1420 in tips, and she's done 10,042 in messages. Okay. Now let's just say times, I believe, what's the agreement? 20% that he's taking, or 25% of tips and messages?
20.
20. Okay. So times 20%. Okay. So he's only taking $2,292. So that leaves you profitable over $4,000. And how much money have you put into this creator?
Just so far, my own actual, like, I have a TikTok team, honestly.
Yeah.
So internally, it's great to have that too, by the way, you know, being in the space. But I put in about $600 or $700, just right up front.
Nice. And dude, you're profitable.
There we go.
You're already profitable. Just
Now,
based on the numbers that we're doing.
one thing I forgot to mention. So, you know, especially this is huge for potential, you know, anybody that wants to either start their agency or anybody that's even a model that's curious. It's like, a lot of the times when, you know, we like kind of launch you, a lot of us do start off negative. Like, we don't just
Yeah.
immediately, like, it's not a free business. It's
Yeah,
not 2020
yeah.
anymore, where, like, you know, things are like $2 and we can, you know, blow you up to
Bring it
20K.
up off the ground. Yeah.
I will also say though, I ran this business for 7 months unprofitable, just like making a very little money at a dealership actually, and kind of having to. I was just, it was paycheck to paycheck. But at the end of the day, this is something that I am passionate about. So like, I never gave up. But I did run this
Yeah.
business for 7 months with like
No profit.
making a little bit of money, but it was still not actually covering my costs. So it was like I was
Fair.
basically working for free,
Right.
and that
And
is something
now,
that, you know,
are
you
you?
may have to be prepared to do.
Yeah, absolutely. People think that you can just jump in and you're immediately profitable. And some people come in, and that's the whole point of agency launch. Is like let's say we would have known each other 7 months ago, we could have probably had you profitable much quicker. But everything happens for a reason.
Right.
You got in, you handled everything yourself. You wrapped your mind around the entire business model, just learning through your own trial and error, which is probably the best way. That's how I started, and then you came to us. So it's like we're able to speed up that process, right? And I think that that's the biggest value that's provided, is like just being able to speed up the process. Like, you could have came to us, you could have been like, look, I don't know shit. I got this creator that's got 400K on TikTok, and she just launched her OF, and she's got a lot of traffic, but I don't know a thing. It's like, cool, don't worry. We plug in this team, we give you a little bit of guidance, we give you the communication standard, and then we let it go, right? So I think that's the best part about this, is like, especially in your case, to hear, and I didn't even know that you've been doing this for 7 months. To hear that you've been doing this for 7 months and that you stuck with it is absolutely phenomenal. And then to now see that it's paying off, I'm sure you feel pretty good.
I feel great. Yeah, I've actually been in it a little bit longer than that. So I started in like the adult space in 2020 of October.
Nice.
I didn't know what OFM was, honestly. I was just trying to help somebody else. She wanted to make more money. She had an OF. I worked at a job. I needed some more money, and I was like, I can just. I was gonna say, let me try something. I was like, you might. I literally was like, do you mind if I promote you? There was no contract, no agreement, anything like that. I didn't think that was a thing. I was just like, let me just try it. And she's like, well, I don't want to chat, and I really don't want to market. So I mean, if you want to do that, she's like, I'll split it with you. I was like, okay.
Enough.
So
Yeah.
that was 2020, and that lasted till about 2022. 2023 is when I started my previous agency, G&D, but it never took off, and I basically went a year unprofitable, and I just kind of shelved it for a bit, and then picked it back up in the middle or the beginning of 2024, like March, and then it kind of fell off, and then, like I said, I've been like, you know what, this is what I need to lock in with, and it's been going great for the last couple months now. So we're finally we made it over the hill, basically.
Yeah, dude. And how old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Nice. When did you turn 24?
November.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna be 25 this year.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, sick. And now, if you could tell me, just so everybody understands, like, if you have something advice-wise to give people that are either new or they're already established, like what would you give them if they're going to come in and potentially seek help from my team in a sense?
Well, if you're new, I think my best advice, if you're like a new creator in the space and you want the help and everything, I would say just be ready with, open ears to listen. At the end of the day, our success is your success and your success is our success. If we aren't successful, then you may not be the most successful. If you're not successful, we aren't successful at all in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and I think another way to like put that is like our entire job is to make these creators more money, right? And
100%.
we make money based on if they make money. So a lot of people don't understand that like it's not like we're just here to take a bunch of money. Like we
Yeah.
don't profit unless we make these creators more money.
100%. And another thing too is that has helped me. And for me, it's just like it kind of blows my mind. But there are, I guess, agencies out there that do. They just ask for money up front. I don't believe in that at all, right?
That's insane.
If you have an agency
Insane.
that's doing that, that doesn't make any sense. It
Yeah.
really doesn't. We're supposed to make you more money ultimately. So like, why are we taking money?
Taking money, yeah. And what about like established agency owners? Because you came into this as an established agency owner. Because I'm sure you were probably a little skeptical. I'm sure you're probably like, I don't know. Like obviously the personal brand helps a lot, and I'm sure you're like, okay, this is still an investment that I have to make, and it's like, how is this going to pan out, right? So like for those guys in that similar position, what would you tell them?
Being straight up too, like I'm a very transparent person. If you're somebody that is lacking like a piece of structure, you can come in and basically immediately fill that structure out. Whether it's chatting, some type of marketing, or if you just want to add traffic. Straight up right now, traffic, it looks like traffic is being added. There's new things being added every day.
Yeah. Oh, and also I have something for you.
Cool.
I have something really cool for you.
We have a couple of things that are set up and in place right now, and for sure I'm going to be adding them in too, like hopefully Monday for all of my creators. So
nice. And can you walk them through? Because all right, so we had that call whenever you got this creator. Can you walk them through like what that call was like and just kind of like we did, like basics, rather say?
Yep. So I screen shared. She had basically her profile was set up. It was pretty like basic. All we did was just add a few touches to really make the page look a little bit more attractive. And basically doing that, all I did was just add a couple emojis. I updated the bio, did a little location trick so it looks like somebody's like very close to you, and in reality, the creator could be in Jamaica for all we know, right? So it shows up as like 2 miles away from you, and that's about it for the actual OF changes. And
we set up the tracking links too. We adjusted the welcome message, just because like it's super important for you to know where these subs are coming from, right? And like we can even pull it up here. Actually, I don't even have access to it. Maybe you have access to it. Through Inflow, you should be able to go through and see tracking links in there, and you'll be able to see like how many people are coming in through the Instagram deep link that I sent you, which is another thing we set up, is like setting him up with a deep link to make sure that like when somebody clicks on the link, they're not stuck in the Instagram browser. They're immediately getting pushed outside of it, so then they can immediately subscribe to the creator with no like hard like steps in place. Now, when it comes to the side of what I have for you, and I'm just going to mention on this call because I'm eventually going to set everybody up with it, is I have a link in bio for TikTok now.
Okay, that's dope. And you know what?
That would be
super fire. Reason why is because for my TikTok team, we have to wait like until about 1,000 followers per alt account. But if we can start these accounts with link in bio, that's going to be almost immediate traffic, because all of these pages are like, I'll catch traction very quickly, but still hitting that first 1,000 followers usually isn't overnight. So
yeah,
we're getting some traffic right there.
And then we also talked about just a few different strategies when it comes to like actually taking the traffic that she has from TikTok and bringing it into the page. I saw she went live yesterday on her alt account. How did that go? Did it drive traffic? Did she follow the right steps? What was that like?
Yes. While she is live, I'm always checking the page, and yeah, all she's pretty much doing, right? And this is kind of what we had asked her to do. It was just like, hey, just say, basically funnel into your Instagram. Just like, hey, go to my Instagram. I've got something there for you. It's special in the bio. And that little one-liner, it's like every time she says it, she'll make, let's say $40 in subscriptions, but that $40 with our team is worth anywhere from like $500 to $1,000 easily because of sub price. It's a lot of subs that come in for that 40 right now. So that 500 to 1,000 is insane.
We also set up the discount too. A lot of people sleep on the discounts. We got this discount set up for the perception of like, oh, I'm getting it for $3, $4, not just 12 a month, right?
Yeah, and that's why I say that $40 of subscriptions is worth a lot more money than it sounds like in the very beginning.
Yeah, just due to the relationships that get built in the page. Because I mean, I'm looking at it right now. She's made $1,265 in subscriptions, but out of that, she's made an extra 11.5K in just tips and messages, which is
absolutely insane.
Insane, bro. Insane.
This is also day 4.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm not gonna show any names. I'm just gonna pull up the inflow, and because I only have access to the statistics part, or I want to see. So, like for example, here, let's just do custom, right? Let's just do the day she launched this page, right? From the day she launched this page, it's not
Last
gonna be
3 days is
customized, but
fine,
like
honestly. So
this is
three
what we done in
days,
the last 3 days.
yeah, 3 days is mostly what we've done anyways.
And before we put on this team, she was at 2.3K, I believe,
Yeah,
in the first
about
24 hours.
2.3.
So she's essentially made an extra 10 grand, give or take, in the last like day and a half, right?
I did a little bit of the chatting now, and that's the thing. Like a lot of agency owners, I'm speaking to you guys. It's like you do have to be willing to put some work in,
Yeah.
regardless of without any type of team. With like you gotta. It's really good if you know how to do parts of the business. Before I actually put the team on or anything like that, I definitely was chatting for an entire day.
Yeah.
I literally sat here in my room. Laptop is in my and people are messaging me.
Just
and I'm
going
like,
ham.
I'll get right with you in a little bit, and I'm over here typing.
Yeah.
And mind you, she had 70 messages, and her followers are extremely active, so I can respond, and I'm already getting response back, but I'm on to the next chat. So it's like I'm maintaining about 70 chats myself. I'm not the greatest at chatting. I used to be pretty good at it, but I don't really do it anymore. But because of that, still, I did take her from that 1,000 to like about 2,200. So I made her about $1,200 in that day.
Yeah.
And then
Just
once I actually
phenomenal.
put on the team that's dedicated to it, yes, that's when the real money came. And I knew that was going to happen, but until then, I was like, well, she's signed.
Did you think it was
Let
going
me
to be
start
that
providing
much?
value.
Did you think the team was going to come in and like rip it that much?
I looked at I definitely did. I had a good feeling when I talk to these chat managers and everything like that, and our communication is good, and I realize like my thing is like if they can communicate with me and their grammar is good, English is good, they're communicative. They even did a call with the model without me, and everything was smooth. So those things pretty much tell me like I'm in good hands, and I'm handing things off to good hands. So I definitely had a good feeling. And
Great. I'm glad to hear
within
that.
that first like few hours, within 3 hours, there was one particular fan that came in, and we actually made $1,000 off of that one fan
In an hour.
in 1 hour. So when I saw that, I was like, okay.
You're like, all right.
I was
Dude,
like,
that's
let
awesome.
me chill out. Let me focus on other accounts while they're working, and I'll come back and check on progress. I check on progress at like 11:30. I'm about to go to bed, and I see like $3,000 in there. I was like, oh, okay, cool, great.
Shit, like, this is moving quick, dude.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you hopping on and just giving all this feedback. I don't know if you have anything else on the top of your mind that you want to share, just like any advice or just what like overall like what your experience is like if you had to rate it 1 through 10, and future goals.
So far, experience. I'm big on that. Nothing's ever perfect, but I'll definitely give it a 9 right now. There is like and I'll talk to you about it right after the video is done here. But I'd say it's about a 9 out of 10. As for goals, like I said, this is a big thing. Is like I need to build a personal brand for myself for other reasons, and then also, of course, for Luna at the end of the day. So what I'm doing now, that my models are all pretty much all taken care of, and it's one big thing is I like to make sure everybody that does end up working with me is taken care of in some way.
Yeah.
Because I actually care. But now that everything is pretty much getting streamlined, I'm gonna basically focus on building out the business, making every single client way more money than even the previous day. That's always my thing, is 1% better than the last day.
It all compounds.
And then I'm also into like getting into real estate, because that was ultimately my goal anyways, is to basically kind of get this business up and running. And then I wanted to get into like Section 8s and everything, like be like one of those guys like Benz or Tom Cruise, for example.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, dude. That's fucking great. Well, I don't know if you have anything else. I just really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on and give this feedback. I'm super excited for you. I knew when we hit up this team, like they were gonna deliver, which is why I've just like been checking in on you so persistently, because I'm like, dude, like I know they're cooking. Like I know they're doing
absolutely cooking. It's actually insane. Even opening their chats right now, I'm looking at this one guy's kind of actually fallen in love. I'm not sure if they sold him like a GFE, which means like girlfriend experience. But he's that man is sitting there. I looked at at the inflow transactions within the last like 2 days. He has also spent like $800 or so. Wow. And he's only been there for about 2 days, right? Everybody's green. Everybody's in there within the last 7 days. The account isn't even 7 days old. And for him to just kind of come in and spend almost $1,000, he's probably going to be at $1,000 today.
Easily.
It's just insane to see. So,
dude, this is awesome. Well, look, man, I'm super happy for you. We're going to keep running this. We're going to keep bringing in new clients. And then you and I are going to also talk separately about some personal branding stuff. And also feedback that you have for me outside of this call, because all feedback is good feedback. And we can't continue to scale without feedback. So, we can go ahead and wrap up this interview. We'll dive into our personal call, and then I'll just handle the rest of the outro and all that stuff on my own time.
Sounds good. Okay.
Sweet.
I mean,
All right.
that's pretty much all that's all I had to say for anybody that views this video, whether you're a model or creator. I guess one last thing I would say is always, if you're skeptical about joining an agency as a model, get on that phone call and just get on the phone call. That isn't committing.
Just hear
to
them out.
anything. Yeah, it's not committing to anything. Get on that phone call and feel the vibe. One thing I will definitely say is that with all of my creators, I'm working on my socials. Some of them may look fake. I'm trying to get them to look better, yes. But once you guys get on that call with me, then you understand, like, yeah, I'm an actual, like, genuine person and I care. You get on a call with other agencies, though, you may realize, like, yes, their socials look great, amazing, super, super aesthetic. And you may get on a call with an agency owner and they're straight up either a douche,
Yeah.
or you can kind of tell they're inexperienced in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side too, I'm also filling you out as well. I want to see if this is something you actually really want to do, if you're new to the industry, or I just want to kind of see a pain point to see how I can actually help you in the first place. Because one thing I always set as an expectation is, despite our creator success within 4 days making 10 grand, I don't put the expectation that you're going to wake up to 10 grand overnight. She just happened to do it, yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I usually will, kind of tell you right off the bat, like, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It
No.
is a, get rich over time sort of thing. As long as you're consistent and we're consistent, that's why it's a partnership. We will succeed.
See results. Yeah. That's awesome. And now you have this creator and you have these earnings and you have these results to now go to other creators and be like, hey, look, this is a result and a byproduct of the teams that I work with and the teams that I give you, which is
100%.
just phenomenal. And it helps you so much more with scaling, bringing new creators in, and having proof of concept and having social proof. Like, that's the most important part. Once you have some numbers under your belt, you could almost land any creator now. And I'm confident in saying that about you and your team and like what you have easily.
100%. As long as I get a response,
Yeah.
I will. Like I said, I do hope somebody gets on this video, and also, regardless, I'm down to also just answer questions. Like, if you just want to talk to me, and I don't really have a YouTube or anything like that.
Drop your Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'll even drop it right here, so you can just kind of tag me. Like, you can
Yeah, absolutely.
the Luna agency, and it's gonna remain. That's gonna be the @ for a while. I do have a website and everything, so it's gonna stay that way. But even if you just want to talk, I'm down to just send you like voice messages and kind of give you like even tips if you need it. And if you would like to sign, definitely hop on a phone call, and I'll see how we can best assist.
Yeah, dude. Well, sweet. The Luna Agency, Kwan here. You heard it from the man himself. All of his feedback, all of his success. Super happy for you. Super happy for you. Nothing puts more of a smile on my face than to see people that I'm working with winning. So I appreciate you and your time. And yeah, dude, let's go and wrap this up and dive into our own personal call.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. Thank you, bro.